Welcome, dear hearts. This is A Course of Love book gathering written by Perron, first receiver. This is an ongoing book gathering, and all past recordings are on YouTube, and all classes, or not classes, but book gatherings are the link if you'd like to join live is listed on A Course of Love website. So it's there for under Sundays. So we welcome you to join with us anytime. So all are welcome. So tonight is chapter 16. And I'm on the second edition. So in this book, chapter 16 is on page 115. Chapter 16, What You Choose Instead. So I'll begin the reading. What you choose instead. The glory that you felt from love only seemed to be available from one and not from another. Love is not available from anyone in the way you think it is. Love has but one source. That this source lies within each of you does not make it many sources. For the many of you have but one source as well. This common source does not make any of you special, but all of you the same. You may ask now why it doesn't seem so. And the only answer is that you do not want it to. You perceive but what you wish for. And your wish for specialness leads you not to see sameness anywhere at all. For what is the same cannot be special. You all are familiar with the problem child who seeks love and attention in ways deemed inappropriate. You know this child is no less than any other child, and what he seeks the same as any other. Yet, if this child grows up with behavior that remains unchanged, you call him deviant or criminal, and claim that it is not love he seeks, and that he is now less than those who once were the same as he. What is the same does not change and become different. Innocence is not replaced by sin. What you do to criminals, you do but to yourself and to those you claim to love with a special love. For you do not see them in the changeless innocence in which they were created and remain, but with the eyes of judgment, that you have judged and found the ones you love good and worthy of your love, makes not your judgment justified any more than the judgment that condemns a body to death or to life in prison. Life in prison and a body condemned to death is what judgment does to all of you who believe that what is the same can be made different. This is as true of the love you reserve for special ones as it is of the condemnation you reserve for others you have singled out. For judgment is what is required to make one special and another not. Without judgment, there would be no separation, for you would see no difference between yourself and your brothers and sisters. Your judgment began with your own self, and from it was all conflict poured. Without differences, there is no cause for conflict. Judgment makes different. It looks past what is the same and sees it not, and sees instead what it is looking for. What you are looking for is what you will find, but finding it does not make it the truth, except as it is the truth about what you choose to see. Your choice lies with God or with the self you believe you have succeeded in separating from Him. And based on this choice alone is how you see determined. Judgment is the function the separated mind has given itself. This is where all of its energy is expended, for constant judgment is required to maintain the world you see. The Holy Spirit can replace your specialness with a special function, but this function cannot be yours while you choose judgment itself as your proper role. Only your heart can lead you to the forgiveness that must overcome judgment. A forgiven world is a world whose foundation has changed from fear to love. Only from this world can your special function be fulfilled and bring the light to those who still live in darkness. Child of God, see you how important it is that you listen to your heart. Your heart does not want to see with judgment or with fear. It calls to you to accept forgiveness, that you may give it, and henceforth look upon the forgiven world with love. Welcome. I'll read that part again. Child of God, see you how important it is that you listen to your heart. Your heart does not want to see with judgment or with fear. Welcome. I am reading from page 116, What You Choose Instead, and on paragraph 16.9. Welcome. Child of God, see you how important it is that you listen to your heart. Your heart does not want to see with judgment or with fear. It calls to you to accept forgiveness, that you may give it and henceforth look upon the forgiven world with love. I repeat again that reason does not oppose love, as your split mind would have you believe it does. For your split mind judges even love and opposes it on the basis that it uses no judgment. Here you can see the value that you place on judgment, even to the ridiculous notion that you can judge judgment itself. You deem yourself capable of making good judgments and poor judgments, and you deem love as being capable of neither. Love seems to operate on its own, apart from what your mind would bid it do. And this is why you fear it, even while you yearn for it. This is what the split mind would call reason, a world in which there are two sides to everything, and two sides that oppose each other. How can this be reason? The truth opposes nothing, nor does love. Again, your memory of creation serves you, even if it has not served you well. It is this memory that tells you that love does not judge, and only your split mind that is made of this memory what will serve its purpose. What it calls a deficiency is your saving grace, letting go of what your mind would tell you in favor of what your heart already knows is but the purpose of this course. Only forgiveness replaces judgment, but true forgiveness is as foreign to you as is true love. You think forgiveness looks upon another in judgment and pardons the wrongs you would enumerate. True forgiveness simply looks past delusion to the truth that there are no sins to be forgiven, no wrongs to be pardoned. Forgiveness looks on innocence and sees it where judgment would see it not. This form of forgiveness seems impossible to you because you look upon an unforgiven world where evil walks, danger lurks, and nowhere is safety to be found. Each separated one is out for his or her own self, and if you do not watch out for your own safety, surely you will perish. Yet while you watch vigilantly, you know that you cannot protect yourself and that you are not safe. There is only one of you and so many of them. Never can you keep your guard up quite enough or secure a final guarantee against disaster. And yet you cling to all attempts to do so, even while knowing they are ineffective. You think you cannot give up your vigilance because you know no other way to ensure your safety. And even if you cannot guarantee your safety against everything all of the time, you believe you can guarantee your safety against some of the things some of the time. And for this occasional protection that has no validity and no proof, you give up love. While you claim you need proof before you can believe or accept something as a fact or as the truth, and certainly before you can act upon it, you live as if you believe that what has never worked before will somehow miraculously work in the future. You have nothing but evidence of a life of unhappiness and despair, or occasional moments of joy, or the few people that you love out of the many that you do not are all that make your life worth living. You think that to be asked to give up the caution, protection, and vigilance that protects these moments of joy and people you love, as well as your own self, is to be asked to live a life of even greater risk than that which you live now. Your judgment has not made the world a better place. If history proves anything, it proves the opposite of what you would care to believe. The more the individual, society, and culture indulge in the desire to judge, the more godlike they think they make themselves. For all of you here know that judgment is not your place, and that it belongs to God and God alone. This is firmly attached to your memory of creation. To wrestle the right to judge away from God is an act against God. And like a child who has dared to defy his parents, the act of defiance fills the defiant one with boldness. Something dangerous has been tried and has seemingly succeeded. The order of the universe has flipped. The child believes she has stolen the role of parent away from the parent without having become a parent. God has become the enemy to those who judge, just as the parent of a defiant child becomes the enemy in the child's perception. But the child is wrong. The child has made a mistake, and with this mistake, the child believes that the relationship with the parent has been severed. It is this belief in a severed relationship with God that seems to replace the holy relationship that cannot be replaced. Judgment thus reinforces the idea of separation, making of it something even darker than it started out as being. It no longer seems like a choice that the child has made, but seems to be an irreparable rift that a new choice cannot mend. Um, Usually, I give each one on the line a chance to read if they so choose. Do you care for a chance to read tonight? Okay, no worries. Child of God, This is not so. And cannot ever be. For the right to judge is but the right of the Creator, who judges all creation as it was created and remains. You only think that you have changed the unchangeable. Judgment does not make you safe, and defining evil does not abolish it, but only makes it real to you. Yet you believe judgment to be based on justice, and justice to include the punishment of those you have defined as evil. You have thus made justice one with vengeance, and in doing so, have robbed justice of its meaning. Those who sit in judgment call upon the power to do what it cannot do. All power comes from love, as does all justice. Any basis other than love for power or for justice makes a mockery of both. Might makes right is a saying that is known to many of you, and even those who know the saying do not believe in the tenets it represents. This you will claim you have evidence for. It is all around you. The strong survive and the weak perish. The mighty prevail, and so define what is right for all those over whom they prevail. Those in power are those who make the laws, and those who have no power must obey them. And yet you are as frightened of those who have no power as those who do. Criminals are feared and shunned, and yet they have no power, but that which they make from their own selves. You want power to come only through legitimate channels, and do not want those who have no power to possess it through the same weapons or might that you claim make those in authority powerful. While you want those to whom you have given power to protect you, you also fear them, for they in turn fear the powerless who might take away their power or rise up against them. What kind of power is it that needs to be constantly defended? What is it about the powerless that frightens you, except that they might not accept their powerless state? And what does it say about what history has shown you? That who is powerful and who is not determined by might or any authority that can be given and taken away. Power is possessed by those who claim it, by those who cry, I am. For the beginning of power comes from the rejection of powerlessness. The rejection of powerlessness is but a step toward your identity, achieved through the awakening of love of self. What misery the world has suffered in the name of judgment, power, and justice. What misery can be avoided by finding the true power inherent in your identity. For you are not powerless. Those of you who think you have traditional means of power on your side, turn not to your own power. And then you wonder why those most spiritual, both currently and historically, seem to suffer hardship. Yet it is often only those who suffer hardship who will rise up and claim the power that is their own instead of looking for it elsewhere. Your perception but looks at power backward and wonders why God has forsaken a people who seem to be so godly. God forsakes no people, but people forsake God when they give away their power and claim not their birthright. Ooh. Your birthright is simply the right to be who you are, and there is nothing in the world that has the power to take this right from you. The only way you lose it is by giving it away, and this you do. God wants no sacrifice from you. Yet when you give away your power, you make of yourself a sacrificial lamb, an offering unto God that God does not want. You look back on stories of sacrifice from the Bible and think, what a barbarian time that was. And yet you repeat the same history, but in different form. If a talented physician were to give up his power to heal you, you would surely call it a waste. And yet you give up your power to be who you are and think it is just the way life is. You give away your power and then bow down to those whom you have given it to, for you are afraid of nothing more than your own power. This fear but stems from what you have used your power for. You know your power created the world of illusion in which you live. And so you think another must be able to do it better. You no longer trust yourself with your own power. And so you have forgotten it and realized not how important it is for it to be reclaimed. As good as you may want to be, you would still go meekly through your life, trying to comply with the rules of God and men with thought of some greater good in mind. If everyone did what he or she wanted to do, you reason, society would collapse and anarchy would rule. But you think you are only fair in deciding that if everyone cannot do what they would want, then you too must abdicate your wishes for the common good. You thus behave in noble ways that serve no purpose. If you cannot claim at least a small amount of love for your own self, then neither can you claim your power, for they go hand in hand. There is no common good as you perceive it, and you are not here to assure the continuance of society. The worries that would occupy you can be let go if you but work instead for the return of heaven in the return of your own self. So that ends chapter 16. And glancing back again at chapter 19, where it says, power is possessed by those who claim it, by those who cry, I am. Have you ever sat with yourself and silently or audibly or both affirmed your I am by simply whispering to yourself silently or aloud, I am? If you like, we could do that for a minute or so, just so we could experience our own I am together. Okay, so just relax into yourself. Breathe out everything unlike I am, and breathe into your I am presence. Silently or aloud. You can close your eyes or open, whatever you choose. And for myself, I close my eyes because I like to close my eyes to the outer illusions and go within to the truth. So I am. I am. Say it slowly and as feeling as you can. You can say it to yourself or aloud. I am. I am. I and 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 for the beginning of power comes from the rejection of powerlessness. So that's what we just did. We rejected our powerlessness and affirmed our I am. You can continue to do. Yes, please do.
I wasn't sure what to do because my first time with you, and I noticed you were recording, so I was being respectful.
No, thank you, but thank you for that. But this is an open. Yes, please
Oh, okay. I
feel
would love to share
free.
something. And
Yeah.
on Easter, I meditate a lot and I walk the spiritual path. On Easter, I felt Christ shoot into my heart and I felt so much love. And ever since then, he shows me something that I want to share with you.
Oh,
When I swim or when I meditate, and even when we did this, and I'll share what came about with this one, as I raise my energy and then I expand it, I see and feel Christ walking side by side with me.
yes.
The birds get really loud and I feel so happy. when and that's why there's no accident. I love your energy. You're so sweet. You're
Oh,
like my cup of tea.
uh, I love
And
you too.
I live in an area that is very religious, and although there's some people obviously that aren't, I could feel because I'm an ultra sensitive, the judgments and the duality. And
Oh,
if I'm not careful, I get sucked into it. And then I
I
get
see.
frustrated, almost like the movie What Dreams May Come, where if they say if you're in the heavy energy for like 5 to 8 minutes, I think it was, you fall prey to it, right? So I can catch when my heart is getting flustered and frustrated. And so I immediately stop, take a walk, or connect as best as I can. I have these little crystals I put on my heart, whatever I can to get myself centered again, right?
Mhm.
And I literally say out loud, I choose no hate. So when you did the I am,
Yeah,
I felt it, the Christ energy in my heart. And it was
yeah.
so beautiful
That is
that,
our I am presence.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so I'm so grateful that I came here because where are you from? Is that okay to ask?
Yes, I'm here in Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in US.
Lovely. Yeah, lovely, lovely. I visited is that the Virginia that's near Florida? Like, a few
On the
hours from.
East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought there was more than like West Virginia or yeah. Anyway, I couldn't remember which Virginia I was visiting, but I was visiting. It was so peaceful. And I'm just so grateful I found you because I'm looking for, or I'm choosing to surround myself with very nurturing, soft, peaceful, loving energy. And you're that person.
Oh,
So I
thank
don't care if it's just us for the rest of the time. I mean, I'm going to continue to, come here again. I downloaded the book online and then right now I'm on the 40 days. I'm on, I think
Oh,
it's day 4. So
oh,
I don't remember the part that you were talking about and I didn't, want to take the time to try to scramble around to find that
it's
because,
okay.
yeah,
I should
yeah,
have told you when I saw you come on. It,
yeah.
you know, I'm on chapter 16. So when you came on, I was on page 116 in the book. And right when I said child of God, your little picture came on. And I said, "Whoa, what was this? This is adorable." So,
Oh, isn't that
yeah,
cool? Yeah, I just thought it was funny that.
I was right at 16.9, and I had just read Child of God when you were little.
Did you see what it says?
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Divinity in me, honors the divine in you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yes.
I love it. That's a
I
beautiful.
know, it's so great.
So
Yeah.
anyway, now you have another. This is your greatest tool, your own affirmation of the I
Yeah,
am.
I am. Yeah, the breathing it in and so forth. It's funny because in the book, and I can't remember what section it is, but it says this that anytime you use I, myself, or me, you're an ego. So when you first said you want to do the I am, in all honesty, I was like hesitant because I'm choosing to break the I's. But then I realized that you weren't talking about the separate I, you were talking about the presence of I
The
and
present.
the
Yeah.
unity of I. And so I thought, and
Yes.
so I felt like, hey, just be open, see what it feels like. And I'm so grateful because my heart is like warm and it's
Yeah.
just so perfect. Do you just do this day? Is this the only day you do?
Every Sunday.
Every
Yes.
Sunday.
So
Yeah.
I am the
Stay,
name.
stay, stay the sweet, sweet person. Don't change.
Oh, I never change. I try not. Same to you. You know the I am is your Christ is your Christ self. It's the name of God as
Yeah,
God
yeah.
as God in his incarnated versions, which we all are.
Right. And that's why I don't use the word Jesus. I use the word Christ. And some people use the I am from the separated ego self. So at first I was like, no, she's not talking about that part. She's talking about the presence of God. And I can literally see Christ on the corner of my eye, just smiling right now. So it's really kind of comical because I would love if you had a suggestion because I would sense that you're probably similar in the sense of being sensitive, but I could be wrong. When you're around people that are heavy, and there's a lot of that, like going into a room with heavy energy, what do you do to not get sucked into it? Do you say the I am while you're in the room? Sometimes I can do it and not
You
get sucked down.
can. You
Yeah,
can go to your I am presence, is I am. And you know, the other thing that I do is I realize that all of life is a reflection. Um, it's reflecting back to me something that I could raise in myself to my I am presence
right, right,
that is currently not at that level. And so, for example, if an angry person triggers me, there could be some anger in me that I could raise to my I am presence by
mm,
simply asking myself, how does this make me feel? I'm asking my own God self, how does this make me feel? And what happens when I ask that question, especially repeatedly, and it doesn't happen instantly because feelings are in a slower round. And so the feeling will simply come up and up and up and up and up and finally just be released. And
mm,
if I'm walking, for example, I can do it. And also, if I'm just sitting with myself, then I'll do it then. Um, but it's always just showing me something that
you
could,
know what I heard?
that especially not all of it, but especially if it triggers me,
Yeah, yeah,
then okay, that's triggering something. That means there's something in me that doesn't want to, that I have not allowed it to be felt within me. I've kind of pushed it down, like the energy always wants to come up, up. You've probably
right.
felt that with your Christ energy wanting to flow up to your heart and flow out to others, flow, just flowing. But if we have a feeling, for example, we may be like pushing it. I don't want to feel that anger, because, you know, for whatever reason, maybe you think if I show my anger, it will never end, or, oh, I'm not spiritual if I show my anger. It could be a million reasons why we won't show our anger, or it brings up a painful memory. Who knows what it is? Just, I know for myself, if I push on it like this, then it's uh, giving me that triggered feeling. But when I just say, okay, there's something in me that wants to be released. And so I'll just ask, what is this that wants to be released? I allow this, I accept this. And if I feel like I'm not accepting it, well, do I at least accept my non acceptance? If I still don't accept it, then, I just say, okay, God, I don't know what to do with this. I just hand it over to you. I'm speaking, of course, to the God within me, not
Right,
someone on a cloud
right, right,
somewhere.
right.
So I'll just speak to myself in this way. God, I don't know what to do with this. Can you handle this for me? And I'll just,
I just automatically surrender it. I don't even go into the
yeah,
other questions. But the thing that I was getting when you were beautifully sharing was that the thing that I was judging on some level is the ego itself, the duality of the ego, because it's so separate and it has so much suffering. And I was getting to the point of being exhausted by seeing so many people in their suffering and their judgments
Mm.
and claiming that they're Christ-like. And so I noticed that that's what I was getting flustered about because I was playing on a subtle level, a little bit of a victim around it, feeling sucked into it. So that's kind of cool that
Even,
that became aware. Yeah.
sorry,
Oh
even,
no, I'm sorry. We're both excited.
yeah, yeah. Even the feeling, of separateness, we can feel it. And what my experience, this is what I always talk about here when it comes up. My experience is that when I allow the feeling to fully express, love is always the only thing underneath it. It's the pushing it down that makes it a trigger, that makes it hurtful, that makes it uncomfortable. And even
Resistance is futile, right? Resist what you resist persists. And
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
and not only persist, sometimes can get even more stronger. So
Yeah,
because
because
it's
if
like
you're
you're not
judging it, it
listening.
becomes stronger. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So when I feel that sense of others, um, the judgments and all of that other stuff, rather than judging that, because then I'm stooping to it, just and I'm seeing what I'm Christ is literally showing me this is just to turn inward and focus more on he showed me this a while ago. I'd love to share this. I was in Arizona for a year and I was invited to this group. And I said, is it a positive, loving group? And they go, oh, yeah, it's very happy, positive, loving. And I said, well, then I'm there. And as soon as I got there, people were crying and sharing all their problems. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing here? And Christ said to me, look at those beautiful white flowers on that tree. And I started looking up and he says, now look at those birds. Don't you see the beauty of those birds? And they're singing to you. And then like, yeah. And he says, now look at those flowers. And next thing I know, I was in bliss. And he says, now get up and say you got to go. And so I did. And the leader was offended at first. And I said, normally I would just sit in this and let it affect my well-being, but I love myself too much to know that this is not for me. And three people stood and applauded, and then he smiled. And what I learned at that point, which is what I got just now, is rather than judge the separation or the judgment of others, which is trying to convert them in some way, is just turn inward towards Christ and feel God, the love of Christ instead, and then just be that love. That's what he just showed me. Isn't
yeah,
that amazing?
and realize that the ones who are around you too is they are also Christ. And to there is a section that we just read. I don't remember if you were on the line or not when I read this. Let me try to find it.
So you were saying something about judging it is only,
Yeah,
yeah, is making it worse. I remember
yeah.
you read something like that. Yeah.
Here
I mean, it's true though.
he says only forgiveness replaces judgment, but
No,
true
Christ that, yeah.
forgiveness,
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, finish.
but true forgiveness is as foreign to you as is true love. You think forgiveness looks upon another in judgment and pardons the wrongs you would enumerate. True forgiveness simply looks past the whole illusion to the truth, where there are no sins to be forgiven, no wrongs to be pardoned. Forgiveness looks on innocence and sees it where judgment would see it not. That's it.
Yeah. Christ said, forgive them for they not know any better. It's where their consciousness is at. Doesn't condone the behavior, but it sets you free. And so when you hate what somebody is doing or how they're behaving, then you're not in love. You're in either fear or hate because of thinking you're going to catch it. In this case, myself. So yeah, so immediately forgive and then turn inward. It's
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's so much easier to be around people like you than it is to be around that because this to me is home, right? And that is not. That is separation from home. And yeah, but for whatever reason, if I strengthen this, then that'll start to dissipate more and more and more. If I keep judging it, I'll just stay stuck in it.
Right. Just look at them all as the Christ. Look to see the Christ. What happens when we do that? And this is in his other book, A Course in Miracles. These are channeled books from Yeshua.
Right?
And so what he says in A Course in Miracles, well, it's they are actually consecutive books. This Course in Miracles was first, and then this book, A Course of
Yeah,
Love,
I took, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, was next. And yeah, okay. Is there anything else?
No, this has been amazing. I'm so, so happy I chose to be participating in this experience with you. And my heart feels very grateful to you for taking the time to do this and um,
And mine
continuing
too.
this journey. Yeah, it's
Where are you
beautiful.
calling from? Where do you live?
I'm in Oregon, Central Oregon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, welcome.
thank you.
So,
I
um,
definitely look forward to continuing this with you and mastering this piece in love.
yes, this is a, I've read this a few times now, and this book is a beautiful way to bring us fully back to our Christ self. And so, then what happens, from my experience, and you're already experiencing some of this, is the Christ in you becomes your teacher. And that is a whole other thing. The unity, the all in all, this becomes your teacher in ways that cannot be written. So it truly cannot be written. So, this is as far as words can take us, probably, because he says in the Course in Miracles that words are twice removed from the truth because they're symbols of symbols. So,
Mhm.
so they're twice removed from the truth. So, but they can give us, the understanding and wash us with this book. Literally feels like being bathed in every part of it. Even the spaces feels like it's just washing you in it, and so it's a beautiful experience. And then it goes on to teach you afterward, and it's just such a blessing. So I come on because the blessing I've received, I want to make sure that I share with others. Whoever is open and ready will come. I'm not worried. We do have a few others who come on, but they are not on tonight. But hopefully we'll all be together next weekend. We'll see. So I will be on next Sunday at 8 Eastern Time.
Wonderful.
So if there is nothing else, then I will see you next time and we'll continue with chapter 17.
17. What do you do with the recordings?
I post them on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all on YouTube. And so you can find them under my name. You see how my name is spelled. And then it's Kimberly. Actually, I changed it. Excuse me. It's under Kimberly 8th Day. 8th Day. So
Okay.
YouTube, Kimberly 8th Day.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you'll
Are
find
you
it.
recording right now or did you shut it off?
No, I haven't shut it off yet.
Can you shut it off now?
Yeah.